Bazaar Morning Call, live from the CNBC TV 18 headquarters in Mumbai.
Good morning. Welcome to Bazaar Morning Call. I'm Lata in the Low Peril studio and Anuj and Surabhi joining me from their respective homes. Well, it's looking like a day of confusing and mixed cues to me, and I will want to hear what Anuj has to say about which way the needle may tilt. But first, the positives. Wall Street may have ended lower after such a long rally, but neither is Asia all that down, nor are the Dow futures. Both of them are up, as is the SGX Nifty. So we needn't worry so much about the Wall Street reaction. Maybe also, of course, FIIs have remained buyers now, what, for the third or fourth day in a row. The bigger positive for me is that the Chinese and Indian troops are disengaging in more areas. Parikshit Luthra reported yesterday that it's not just Galwan, now it's Hot Springs, Gogra. Along the line of actual control or the assumed line of actual control, there is disengaging by troops. And then let's come to the markets. There's more and more news of more banks and companies taking advantage of the market's positive mood. Ritu Singh's exclusive that the Yes Bank FPO is really got onto a flying start, and Money Control exclusive, again, a Network 18 group company about IndusInd also trying to look for more capital. So all this is positive. RIL has got back the money that was promised earlier. It's not fresh news, but nevertheless, all this is making for market cheer. But let me leave with a thing or two that came overnight, which is a matter of caution. The non-GST indirect tax collection. It's not a great deal because GST is the giant in the indirect tax sphere, but even then it has fallen. It is 66% lower than it was in the same quarter last year. Of course, these were the quarters which reflect the lockdown, but nevertheless 66% lower. And what is an even more important statistic, it is 7% of the total year's budget. I mean, if taxes are going to be as low as that, it should have been normally about 20% of the total year's expectation. If it's only 7%, I mean, how are we going to expect the government to do more spending? We keep making demands on the government, but the taxpayer is tired. He's not putting in money. Likewise, I would be a little worried about also the tightened numbers, though Mangalam thinks that June has shown a good recovery. If you look at April, May, June, it's such a washout compared to the same quarter last year. So macro cues are still looking extremely worrisome. But the markets are in another sphere. Which sphere is that, Anuj?
Good morning. You know what? Look, at the end of the day, while I've been calling for this melt up and it's happened, now, you know, the issue is that it's no longer, you know, a market in which logic is working. This is a market in which, you want to buy in the morning and feel good about yourself by the end of the day. It's now become that kind of a market. And I think I just point out a couple of internals. Yesterday, if you take a look at the top gainers, both on the Nifty and outside the Nifty, just look at the delivery percentages. Look at Bajaj Finance, which yesterday made that massive move. It had 8% delivery volumes. 8%. So 92% of the volumes were basically settled intraday. Buy in the morning, square off in the evening. Forget about doing it in the futures. You're doing it in the cash market. You know, IndusInd Bank had 19% delivery volumes. Finserv 13%. ICICI Bank a bit more respectable, 23%, but the average for ICICI Bank is at least 45 to 50%. Bandhan Bank, the great 10% mover, had 12% delivery volumes. Equitas, which gets into F&O ban, by the way, had 15% delivery volumes. Now, you don't need, a rocket scientist to tell you that the market right now is in a complete greed mode. The fear mode is well and truly gone. Now we are in a greed mode. We are at 10,800. The current 200-day moving average is 10,886. And the market has to fall that this is the place. But I don't know if the market will fall, because even though the US markets were down, which was in line with what the futures indicated, Asian markets are shrugging it off. The SGX Nifty is sort of shrugging it off. There's a bit of a bravado about the market right now. Also, you see the big move in Bank Nifty yesterday. Perhaps that's where you saw a lot of short squeeze, because it moved out of that congestion zone of 22,200 to 22,300. That could perhaps be the index to focus on. Let's see if there's more follow through or some give back of gains. The FI buying is continuing, which is always a positive. So 800 crores of buying, though there was some unwinding in the long positions. Now, why I'm trying to make all these points, and I'll just add a couple of more internals. If you look at the India VIX and if you look at the put call ratio as well, this market is now hugely overbought. And the problem for this market is, just like we used to discuss on the way down, that just market will not fall only because it's overbought. But if it falls because of any trigger, then the overbought stature of the market will be a bit of a problem. But right now there's no warning sign, nothing. It's everyone just wants to party, so just enjoy till this party lasts. That's all I would say. But purely from a risk reward point of view, I think the markets had a fairly good gig, and I think it would be now better for the market to perhaps pause a little bit or take a step back. Whether the market obliges, we don't know, but that would be my view. Surabhi, good morning.
Good morning, Anuj. Good morning, Lata. I guess you summed it up, Anuj, right? That it's like that party where you've been on for too long, but then you don't want to leave because the music is still on and the food and drinks are still flowing, right? And speaking of food and drink, I mean, the biggest part of that is liquidity. Yesterday in the cash market, again, we got a positive figure, about 830 crores. So it's 3-day running that we have at least positive numbers coming in on the cash side from FIIs. But having said that, let's watch out for the DII flows as well. By the way, I'm just putting it on the table that we're getting the monthly mutual fund inflow numbers today. And the whispers that I was hearing yesterday was that it could even be a negative number for the month of June. So let's see. That's a separate debate. Right now, for what it's worth, the SGX is looking at sort of very minor moves. 20 to 30 points is what we've got. The rest of the Asian region has cooled off quite a bit. So it's a very muted morning across Asia. Better than the sell-off, of course, that we saw on Wall Street. Anuj, my question to you then is that while sanity will tell us to be cautious and there are enough macro cues that will tell us to be cautious, what does one do? Because the price on the screen, the momentum on the screen has proven all the skeptics wrong over and over and over again. So what's the approach and what are the important pillars to keep in mind? When we were children and we would celebrate Diwali, and we would have rockets flying, my parents would say that, don't stand in front of that. So you don't want to stand in front of that. Even whether you want to latch onto this rocket or not, that's your call. But I'll just put one more cue on table, Surabhi. I'm the first one who always says respect the screen, and that's worked for last 2-3 months. This market perhaps wants to just move beyond Corona. I think yesterday, if you go by the Worldometer, Corona Worldometer internals, I think more and more countries are now reporting very, big surge in cases. Yesterday, for example, if you look at South Africa, all of a sudden fresh 10,000 cases there. Colombia, Mexico, Bangladesh, in a couple of European countries, we've started to see fresh cases. And, we are going to approach winter months. There's a study that, in India, of course, things could get perhaps quite problematic by the end of the year. So, this risk has not gone away. The markets had a big rally and, you should have participated in this rally. But if you got in, perhaps it won't hurt to book half because the market from here on would be very volatile. I think the teaser is already there. The market would be very volatile from here on.
No, I take your point entirely, Anuj. The way in which the coronavirus cases are surging in India and elsewhere, we are adding 25,000 cases every day. One agrees that the death rate is still very low, but as long as the total number of cases keep increasing, the economy will continue to suffer because people will want to sit at home. People will not want to go out and consume. So, we can't brush it away all the while and say, deaths per million is only what, 15 or 16, whereas in the US it is 400, in elsewhere it is 900. No, that's true. It is an emerging market or perhaps a tropical issue that deaths have been very low, but we have got more cases than many countries in our own category of tropics or less developed emerging countries, and that is going to be a specific bother for us. So while we look at our market party, all these worries will have to play on our minds, and we don't know. I remember in the 2003 to 2008 party, I mean, at 20,000, I thought, my God, 20,000 Sensex. At that time, we used to track the Sensex more. and it went on and didn't peak off till 23,000. I mean, that's a good 3,000 more. And therefore, who are we to say at what point this party is going to stop? We have got experts to do that. Technical experts will be with us. For the moment, let us get you some fundamental advice. This one is coming from Mahesh Nandurkar of Jefferies. Nandurkar says their proprietary economic activity indicator improved 2 percentage points week on week to 81% of pre-COVID level. The indicator has been steadily at a 2 percentage point week-on-week pace over the last 5 weeks. Improving data include electricity, rail freight, retail transactions, imports, cement, etc. Urban mobility data and leading indicators, including web traffic, have flattened out for the past 2 to 3 weeks, implying a slowdown ahead. Continued good trend in agriculture is, however, encouraging for rural demand. And I want to add, Surabhi and Anuj, that a lot of people are pointing out that the Global Mobility app, which is very good in terms of indicating how much economic activity is there on the ground, in terms of people coming out, that has flattened for the past 2 weeks. We have to see whether that's worrisome.
Lata, I take your point. I think we didn't mention on the table the fact that now there's a talk of this airborne nature of the coronavirus, WHO admitting that that could be a possibility on the table. So there's plenty of concern for the market to think about, but whether it will pause or not, we will find out. Let's move to the money market views as well. We've got a call coming in on the rupee from Pramit Brahmbhatt of Veracity. He says the rupee will continue to correct in anticipation of profit booking in domestic equity market. The trading range for the spot USD INR pair is seen at 75.20 to 74.80.
Okay. Let's get to the bond market call. This one comes from Dhaval Dalal of Edelweiss. He says the bond market got its mojo back this week amid healthy risk appetite. Daily trading volume has crossed 74,000 crore rupees on Tuesday amid prospects of an OMO, open market purchase calendar from the Reserve Bank. This is an expectation. The benchmark 10-year bond yield declined to 5.79. He expects it to trade between 5.75 and 5.8 in the near term.
Okay,